Are you into making your home cool, creative, and cozy on a low-cost budget? Then this show's for you. Welcome to the Blueberry Cottage and my new home. Now you can follow us as we do projects all over the new house that are creative and totally local. And we're going to be visiting some awesome properties in and around Ketchikan to give you some great ideas for your house too. Everyone around the world is always looking for one of the most unusual and unique places to host guests and or have an event. There's one right here in Ketchikan, and it's the brand new TreeHouse. We're here to check it out on this episode of the Blueberry Cottage. Hey Joyce.
Hi Michelle, come on up. Welcome.
Thanks. Amazing. Right when you walk in the door, pow, you've got this great kitchen. And I really like the fact that it's not so huge because the property is so unique, and the fact that it's right on the water in prime fishing grounds. Who's going to spend a whole lot of time in the kitchen?
I hope not.
Exactly.
I hope they're out having fun.
But there's some neat things about this kitchen. I want to know, I mean, these countertops are awesome.
Well, those were beach comb from the salvage logs from the beach, and that's a live edge that we left on there. We cut them on the sawmill, and so we kind of left the marks from the sawmill on there, but we just put coats and coats of finish on it.
What kind of finish did you use?
We used a Varathane.
Okay, all right. Now, that I want for my house. This faucet rocks.
It does, doesn't it? It was a little big, but after we got it in, I loved it. Yeah,
it's great. Yeah. So during the design process, because you are a designer by trade for years and years,
yes,
you were really active in it.
I was. I think my son was 2 years old when we started our first place, and he's 45, so that's 43 years.
How many properties have you built? You lost count?
No, just most of it's been right here on this point. We started out with a little cabin that we bought from Pat Moore. I mean, Wayne bought it before we were married like 30 years ago, and he had me come up and we designed that. We started there, then we built the lighthouse after that. We did 2 up on North Point Higgins. Then we did the other house over here. So how many is that?
That's a lot. But this is kind of the dream place. What are some of the other features about this kitchen? So for example, induction
That's
cooktop,
a Wolf induction cooktop, so the top doesn't get hot, and it uses magnets and the pans get hot, and it boils instantly.
Okay, anything else about this kitchen? Because it's just beautiful.
We didn't have a lot of room for ovens or anything, so we used a convection oven, which is got the microwave and the fan, so everything's in one spot. And just a small refrigerator that we got from Bernie's. The Wolf induction stove came from Rhineco, and the cabinets came from Rhineco.
I love the feel of this because it's very upscale, very gourmet, but it also kind of speaks very subtly to the fact that here you are in Alaska at the Lich Point TreeHouse, and you better not be spending a whole lot of time in the kitchen.
That's right, but it's here if you need it. And we've got a grill outside, and lots of decks to have fun on.
This eating area, this is so cool. There's pulleys all over the house.
Yeah, that was Wayne's idea to actually suspend it, to hang the table.
And it's tight too.
Yeah, it's very tight. It doesn't move.
But did you all locally mill this table as well?
Yes, that's milled here on his little sawmill out here, and then he just worked up at his shop sanding and finishing.
So do you sit around the kitchen table at night thinking about all these pulley tricks?
He must have done that at night. He surprised me with this one. I didn't even know he could build anything. But he left I love the live edges, so he left the live edge on one side.
I love it. Yeah. And then of course some local native art, which is fantastic.
Yeah. And yeah, we found the light fixtures with the ropes to try to tie in all his ropes he likes.
Right, I see that. I see that. And I love the look and feel because this is one of many eating areas in the
Yes.
treehouse. So this is great,
And
very
we-
inviting.
Yeah, we don't have a lot of room for legs on a table here since it's so small, so that was his way of getting more seating under there without legs.
Beautiful. I love it. So comfort is always the name of the game, especially when it comes to a luxurious rental for vacations or just for your local event, like the Lich Treehouse. This is amazingly comfortable. So what was your inspiration for this property? What do you hope to achieve when a guest walks in the door, and how do you want them to feel while they're here?
Just the fantasy that everybody has, you know, of living up high where they can see everything.
The fact that it is a treehouse, there is a ginormous backstory on that one. You've dreamt about building a treehouse for a long time, and you reached out to some folks with the design. This design, right?
Well, it was the idea, but yeah, I entered a contest for Tree Masters and I didn't win. So then I couldn't shut my mind off and I couldn't go to sleep because I was designing it in my head. So my husband got out his drafting tools and he said, "Here, I'm going to show you the right tools to use and you draw that thing up." So he helped me survey the trees, and so I started drawing. Didn't take too long, and did the floor plans and elevations.
Did
And,
you really? Holy
Yes.
smokes, how long did that take you?
About a week. I
What,
think.
a week?
Yeah. And then, but Mike Ratsit, our general contractor, he's fabulous because we think alike. And oh my goodness, it was just so much fun working with him. And he could see my ideas. And it's actually this, just exactly, almost the floor plan is exactly as it was on the plans. And it was very difficult because we had to do all these angles around the trees. But and I had to fight for each limb to stay.
Did you really?
Yeah, everybody wanted to cut limbs.
That's awesome.
And trees, and I had to fight for that. Yeah, and my husband couldn't figure out how I was going to have a tree go up the center. So I showed him, and Mike understood, and yeah, it turned out just the way we wanted it.
So you had this grand design for the overall structure and the layout of the treehouse. But now that we're inside, the details, the attention to detail is enormous. Something that I have rarely seen, and I have stayed in bed and breakfast in places all over the world. And I look, because I'm into this kind of stuff,
yeah?
I look like, why is that there? Why is that there? Why is that angled that way? And you've got it down. It is amazing. So I'd love to see the rest of the treehouse and hear a little bit more about your inspiration for each room, because
okay.
they're all different.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Joyce, it's amazing to think that there's so much to talk about in one bedroom.
Really?
I love the bird inspiration. How did you come up with that?
Because it looks like a bird nest in here.
It does.
With a little window up there and everything. I just said, "Look, let's call this the bird nest."
Yeah,
and
it's
we're
amazing.
up in a tree, so why not? It
Perfect.
fit in. Yeah.
I love it. So you've got the washer and dryer in here, but I love it that you could actually lay in bed and look at the actual treehouse steps and so much more, right? Is that where the squirrel lives?
Yes, so you can. He'll wake you up in the morning with his little chirping.
Really? So I could like see the squirrel if I wanted, and a little bit of the water, or not.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can look through and see if it's rough water out there today. If you even want to get up and go fishing.
Interesting. I love it. Very cool.
Thank you.
Very cool. And there's another fun little feature here
Oh
too.
yes, you have your private entrance to go on out if you want to.
So
You
maybe
know, in
if
the
I'm a
morning.
parent, this is not where I'm allowing my teenagers to necessarily sleep.
Right, you wouldn't want that. Sneak it out.
Joyce, I love this. This is so cool.
It turned out really great. It was a surprise. It wasn't in my plans.
Really?
Yes, I was out of town, and Mike and my husband, well, my husband came up with the idea, and him and Mike came up with it and built it before I got home and surprised me.
I love it. So you've got the oars on the side here, and people can kind of go up just like a boat, but there's a pulley up there. Don't tell me this can go up and down.
Yes, it can. Yeah.
So if someone has a big party here, you could actually retract the stairs?
Yeah, we can pull it up, yes, with the pulley, and get it out of the way.
That's
Also,
amazing.
if there's just a couple staying here, they could raise it, and it would be out of the way. They'd have more room in here.
Excellent. Very cool.
But you can always use the inside staircase too, up around the tree. You don't have to use this one. But if it's raining, it's kind of nice to have it.
True.
This washed up on the beach.
Are you kidding?
Just
this is
perfect.
amazing. It's so, it is perfect. It wraps right around.
I know.
How
Mike,
long did it take for you to find this?
oh, I was just out looking over the edge and I said, Mike, where are you? You're going to crawl
Of
down on the
course,
rocks.
make him go and get it.
Yes, make him go get it. And he fetched it out of the water, and I said, I think it's perfect, and it was.
And then there's
at
another
that.
one above it.
Yeah, that one came up on the beach
So,
too.
This is awesome. More oars.
Yes, my husband has lots of oars from when he was even a little kid, some of these are.
And I can feel the cool air from the open top. And I feel like a kid again in here. This is
what
awesome.
You're supposed to have that little fantasy life here.
This rocks.
Thank you.
And the squirrel actually crawls up and down the tree.
Yes, he'll wake you up when you're in that little room there sleeping.
And then I can look down over the living room here.
Uh-huh. Yes.
And then I've got another private little entry.
Yes, so
Here.
if someone's sleeping in there, they can just walk over this way to the bathroom without going through the other bedroom to disturb anyone.
Amazing.
If they just
the
want to go down to
detail.
get coffee or something, they don't have to wake up the other people. They can just come out and go down.
Genius. TreeHouse Masters lost.
Aw.
And they said no to you.
Oh, I think I would work really good with that guy. He has a brain too.
You can actually see the tree shaking in the wind today.
Uh-huh.
I love the local flavor. So the next room up is a room that is dedicated to fishing. Of course, how appropriate. Show me around. You've made some new additions too.
Yes, we have, since you were here. First of all, this is a live edge headboard that my husband and Mike worked on. And this started out just hiding TV cables, but it ended up being a beautiful piece of art. We found these two pieces of wood up at the warehouse that they had saved that had the opposite sides and everything of the live edge. Then they made a live edge shelf, and this is bottles that Wayne found diving at the cannery sites.
And there's the one-way mirror window.
Yes.
So we can look out and see the tree, but no one can look in.
Right.
Fantastic. Every tiny detail. What is that on the wall?
Oh, Wayne loves to tie flies. So those are some of his creations. So I had to have them up here. You know, they fit.
Wayne does a lot of stuff.
Yes, he does. He used to love to dive. I mean, that was his whole life. And so we have a lot of things from that.
And then, of course, another private balcony.
Yes.
How cool is that? I love it.
With the tree going up through it.
So we're in the loft, and we're hoping that Wayne isn't going to go to jail after all these hotel room keys that he's got lined both sides of the beam over there. How long has he been collecting these things?
Way
This is
before we were
crazy.
married. I told him he had to quit after we got married. That was stealing. So then there was a good thing they went to the cards because he had to stop.
And right here is the detail that you were talking about before. This used to be open, and of course I love this. I actually went and looked at,
Did you?
Where can I find one of these? I want one of these. But this was open, so if someone was going to stay here and they had smaller children,
Yes, we
you
had
all added that, so that's a safety type of thing.
Yes, we sure did. And we thought about the rope, and then Wayne went out and got a bucket of these pulleys that I didn't even know he had, and so this creation came up with between him and Mike, and that's what it ended up with, and I think it's just beautiful. I love it.
This is so cool too, because this could sleep another child, or I think you can actually sit here and read some of the books. I love it. Very nice.
And it's got a great view. You can see out the window there. And we also made it so you can see the water from up here. So we have windows up there that show the water out. So you can see if it's still rough out there or if it's wonderful water for fishing.
Okay, so now here's my question for you. You thought of all these details, all of these views, so I could sit in this one spot of many in this house. And you thought about the fact that I might want to look out over here and see the water, but then also look across the top of the loft and see the water out to the front. And you did this in a week. So what I'm thinking, it would be super duper scary and over the top, like in a good way, if you actually spent 2 weeks designing something.
Yeah, it might slip away though.
Yeah, there you go. This is awesome. I love it. It is my hobby to stay in bed and breakfast and vacation rentals like this wherever we go, as opposed to a hotel. Not that I'm opposed to hotels, but I just think it's interesting to see the quirks and the unusual things that people do in their homes. And this far surpasses most everything that I've ever stayed in.
This is my third property that I worked together with Joyce, and they've all been a little bit different, and this is definitely one of the most unique of any property I've ever worked with. So this has been exciting and fun to be involved with. The other properties were really neat, but totally different. The first property was a vacation rental as well, but it had a very cool dock. They had boat rentals but more of a loft type apartment. And then the second property is in her own home. They're separate private rooms. We're actually still booking those rooms. We have the halibut suite and the salmon suite. And this has been really different for me as far as how quickly the word spread. We started putting pictures up on Facebook, and oh my gosh, friends were sharing it with friends, and it was linking up to my website, and within just a couple days we had 5,000 hits. It was just amazing. I'd never really had a property that had gone viral in such a short period of time. So, I'll get people that'll give me a call and they'll say, I want to stay in some place really different. I want an experience. I don't want just a place to stay. This is a special anniversary or a get together with a family, and they want a really unique experience where they're just where there's memories. And so this has been wonderful to be able to offer this as far as a very unique and adventure. I have about 60 properties altogether, or 60 different units that I book in Ketchikan. Started out booking all of Southeast, and then after a few years I whittled down to just Ketchikan and Juneau, and now I'm exclusively just doing Ketchikan. And with about 60 properties, it's just vacation rentals are getting more and more popular. So last year was my all-time high of best year I'd ever had in reservations, and this year looks like it's going to be surpassed last year. So every year it just gets a little bit more. So having this extra special property, a TreeHouse, I was just very excited about having something truly different to offer for my customers.
So Mike, I'm totally curious about your role in all of this, because it was huge.
Yeah, I was really delighted. Wayne called me one day and asked me if I wanted a project, and I said, yes, what are we doing? And he said, a treehouse. And I go, I've always wanted to do a treehouse, and because it's always going to be something special. It won't be just the ordinary treehouse. And sure enough, just there's just so many different things about this project that's you don't get to do it every day.
Well, didn't it all kind of start with how you guys did the wood?
Yeah. Yes, that was my favorite part. Something that I've never had a chance to do before is we went out beachcombing and find floating logs, and then we bring them home on the sawmill and cut them all up, and so we have extra wide planks and real thick, real wood, and it was neat to be able to know what our project was for the day, go out and look for that special log, either whether it's cedar or whatever, and then the size, and then come home and
Probably
nail it.
not something you're going to do in Kansas, right?
No, you're not gonna do that again. Yeah.
So you had a couple of different, well, not a couple, but hundreds of different unique features to this home. Do you have a favorite?
Yeah, I do have a favorite. My favorite is the spiral staircase up the middle of the house, and we knew we needed a staircase that went around the tree without connecting to it, so it wouldn't move, and so we went out. I got the idea of getting a bent log and use that as a center support. And it took 4 or 5 times going out before we found one bent enough.
Really?
Yeah, we brought home one, and that's what made the front handrail going down below. It was nowhere near close.
Okay.
And so yeah, that was a one time. I haven't seen another one like it either, so.
You got lucky, right?
Yeah, you got lucky, real lucky.
What percentage of this house would you say is made of reclaimed wood and handmade out of your sawmill?
Oh man, yeah, it's probably 60% of just.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's stuff that we. When I wasn't busy building something, my list every day I would give Wayne a list of lumber to cut, and he was out there. He was way busier than he thought he was going to be cutting wood.
How long did the project take?
It was about a 6-month duration. We had stops and starts, but it took about six months to complete.
But with a treehouse as unique as this, and in general, there's always a challenge.
Yeah.
What was your biggest challenge?
Oh, the biggest challenge was it was odd. Just the siding was really tough for some reason. It just would not go away. Going around all the different little things, and it's really just meant for like a gabled garnish. You're not supposed to do a whole house in it.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's just beautiful. It's really, so.
You've got some special touches on the outside of the treehouse too, right?
Yeah, I like this awning here. She just wanted something for cover, but didn't have anything drawn up or anything in mind, and well, we could just go cut a big log and make these trusses just one piece, and so we went out and found the log, and that was the first thing Wayne had me do, cutting it on the saw. He just made me do it, and so I cut out these trusses and then used the chainsaw, made a pattern, and then made them all the same. So that was really fun. And
Treehouses generally do not have indoor bathrooms.
no, it is a 100% fully functioning, modern, as far as that is concerned.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah.
I can't think of another thing that I would have done differently. When you walk around the place, the attention to detail is simply astounding. If they came back to you and said, we need to add on to the treehouse, what could they possibly do?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to ask. What could you possibly do to make this better? That would be pretty tough, but it would turn out just awesome. I'm sure of it. Actually, there is a phase 2.
Really?
Yes, down on the beach. There's going to be a shower room for people that want to take a dive in the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So we'll stay tuned for that one.
Yeah.
Very fascinating. Thank you very much.
All right.